Janet, musical director of Tadhamon Choir, we've just had the most marvellous, moving afternoon listening to your choir sing and tell stories of your latest trip to Palestine. Thank you so much. I'm still moved by what you've told us about. Would you like to tell us a little more about what you've been doing in Palestine and why this afternoon is important to you?
Okay, first of all, thank you ever so much for having us. It's important, well, for lots of reasons, but the main thing is it's actually the first time we've all physically been together in the same room since we came back, because some of us stayed behind on various different projects. So the last person only came back a few days ago. But also it's made us focus our minds, because we knew we were going to do this. So while we were in Palestine and things were happening, we were filming and taking photographs and so forth, at the back of our minds was the fact that obviously we want to tell the story, we want to talk about Palestine and Palestinians, and so it was a really good focus for us to be able to do that, even though it feels like a little bit of a rush. But yeah.
Such moving stories, and just tell us a little bit about where you went and who you met, and maybe where you couldn't go.
Okay, so we had a couple of nights in Jerusalem, and wherever we went, we had at least one guide to take us around and tell us their stories, and they were all Palestinian guides. So a couple of nights in Jerusalem, and then we went on to Bethlehem, to Ida refugee camp, where they have a guest house for international visitors. So we stayed there for 4 nights, and then we moved on to Sebastia, and that was because we couldn't go to Nablus. We wanted to go to Nablus. It was the first point of contact that we had actually before we went, because there was an international festival there that, although as it turned out we weren't part of that, I'm not even sure they still have that now, but we weren't able to go to Nablus because the Foreign Office changed their advice only a couple of weeks before we were due to go. And so we went to Sebastia instead. And as it happened, while we were there, Nablus was invaded by the Israeli Defence Forces and killed a number of Palestinians while we were there. So there was a lot of trouble there. So we went to Sebastia, which is this lovely ancient village where they have Roman ruins. So again, we stayed 3 nights there, and then we went on to Nazareth, which is actually inside Israel, because we thought it would be really important for us to see what it's like being Palestinian in Israel. So again, that was really, really, really interesting. So we had quite a broad range of experiences.
And the power of song.
Yeah.
Janet, tell us what it was like singing to and with Palestinians who you'd never met before.
It was amazing, and I think the thing about music and about singing in particular, I think, because singing comes from your body and we sing from our hearts, I think there's something really direct about the communication and the connection that you can get through singing. So it was lots of things. It was very, very emotional, but also it was sometimes very empowering, and to be able to be there and show that solidarity. So you will have heard a story this afternoon when we went to Hebron. We went to Hebron for the day from Bethlehem, and our guide, Isa, is a human rights defender in Hebron, and we were going up this street, and he said that we could only go so far, or he could only go so far up that street because it was just for settlers. And he said, it's all right, we have, so there's this shortcut and I'm going to take you up to my house. And it was just on rough ground, but quite a steep slope and some bushes about and so on. And we hadn't got very far when some young settlers appeared at the top and started talking to Isa, and basically we found that they were saying, no, you can't come up here. And there was a soldier with them. The soldiers are there basically to protect the settlers. And what the settlers say goes. Isa had come armed with a map saying to show that this is a Palestinian right of way. So he insisted on sending for the police, and eventually one police officer did come, and he said yes, but yes, you're in the right, but at the moment I can't let you go. But then we're walking down and back to the checkpoint, and we started singing some of our campaigning songs, Justice for Palestine, only justice and equality can bring peace. And that was just so powerful, being able to walk through the checkpoint, past these Israeli soldiers. It just showed us again the power of song.
The power of song. Janet, Tadhamon Choir, thank you so much. You've sung to a packed audience here at Chapel FM, and good luck with your inevitable tour now and taking your stories far and wide. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for the opportunity.